Want to hear, but it's true. Unfortunately, more elderly people are experiencing homelessness, and that's why Haven for Hope created an entire program for that particular age group.
It's called the Young at Heart program. It launched this summer, and our Courtney Friedman got to meet one of its first clients who's already living independently in his own apartment.
With the push of a button,
a
short stroll down a hallway, and the turn of a key.
There we go.
Your very own space.
Jim Fouts is in his very own apartment, the first real home he's had in a long time.
Congrats on all of this.
He just moved in this month, so he's still working on furniture, but this is a big deal.
And you got to believe me that being on the street sucks, because I've been there.
When Jim got to Haven for Hope last year, it was good timing because the shelter was just creating its Young at Heart program, specifically for people ages 65 and up.
These are our parents, our grandparents. They're the caregiver generation, the baby boomers, and now unfortunately we're seeing they're the largest population that's growing and experiencing homelessness.
Haven's Senior Director of Case Management, Jesse Burden, says anyone in that age group who enters the shelter gets case managers that prioritize them, get documents and income lined up, and of course, housing.
You thought it was going to take longer.
Yeah.
And so then when they told you your apartment's ready, what went through your head?
I was just shocked.
What does it make you feel like to have your own apartment?
It feels good to have a place to say that's my address. It brings me a sense of accomplishment.
The Bexar County Sheriff is seeing a new trend with teenagers exchanging guns. What cases this has happened in and what you need to look out for.
A food truck on San Antonio's north side forced to move locations after federal agents arrested more than 150 people they say were in the United States illegally. We'll bring you this story coming up.
And we have one lingering downpour still over parts of San Antonio. We'll track that, where it's going next, when it'll get there. Also, how much rain has fallen and where. If you missed out on the rain today, still a few more opportunities. And a notable cold front next week, just in time for Thanksgiving.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
And we thank you for joining us tonight. I am Ernie Zuniga.
And I'm Stefania Jimenez.
All right, so tonight, a new obstacle in tracking down violent offenders. The Bexar County Sheriff says teenagers are passing around guns that are used in crimes.
And as the night team's Avery Everett tells us, this is what happened in a recent murder case where deputies still haven't found the suspect.
This case has been a lot of untangling webs.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office is facing a new challenge in solving cases. Teenagers and young adults are now exchanging guns after a crime is committed.
What we're seeing is that many times these kids are utilizing these guns, trading them off for another gun that may have been used in something else.
Sheriff Javier Salzar says that's what happened in the murder case of Aliana Ujeda. She was the 17-year-old girl who was shot and killed at a party at the end of September. BCSO identified 18-year-old Deshaun Suggs as the suspect for her murder, but he hasn't been caught yet.
The sheriff says BCSO did retrieve the weapon they believe was used in Aliana's murder, but they say they didn't get it from the suspect. The sheriff says it was passed between 3 to 5 hands before they were able to get it, and he says this isn't the only case seeing this trend.
It seems to be a very disturbing trend that we're seeing.
The sheriff says this gun exchange also happened in the case of Landon Reyes from 2024. He was also 17 and shot at a house party. We spoke to Aliana's parents on Tuesday, who called on the community to come forward with answers on the suspect in their daughter's case.
I plead and I ask, please help us get this boy.
Now it's the sheriff calling on our community to help stop this gun exchange trend.
As parents, we need to be mindful of where our kids are going and who they're going to be with.
And he also wants gun owners to store their weapons safely.
We need people to realize that responsible gun ownership is a 24-hour endeavor.
The sheriff says stopping this cycle will take all of Bexar County. That's why he's hoping action will happen before another heartbreak.
One other number I want to share with you. Across the investigation of Aliana Ujeda's murder, the sheriff says BCSO retrieved 10 different guns in total. Reporting live, I'm Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
All right, Avery, thank you very much. To the weather now. We see Avery dry for the moment, but not everybody stayed dry tonight.
That's right. A little birdie told us just a few minutes ago that there's a lingering shower out there. Adam, where is it?
Yeah, that's basically right over Windcrest, heading up I-35 north, right through the construction zone, unfortunately. Never good when you have heavy rain on the construction zones. But we do need rain, and this is a time of day where not as many folks are out on the roadway. We'll take it. We need the downpours. We need the heavy rain. And it was really a tale of the have and have-nots today where, you know, parts of the northwest and north side of town picked up an inch or so, but you didn't even get a drop elsewhere. We'll take a look at those totals in a moment. First of all, this downpour right here. I was showing you the radar loop over the past 2 hours. Now, this is right over Windcrest, headed towards Selma, Live Oak, Schertz. And then New Braunfels just getting hit right now, likely to get this one momentarily as this heads off to the northeast. Now, I want to track this out for you, but I need to make a big area because this right here is moving along pretty quickly. Not quite as fast as what we saw earlier today, but still moving at a pretty good clip. So that would put this downpour in Schertz momentarily, but Steele High School by 10:13 p.m., City of Comal at 10:17, Mission Ridge at about 10:28. So that's the timing. You see the various communities on here. Santa Clara, by the way, 10:21. That's that downpour. Otherwise, we really don't have much else, and I think this is going to be one of the last downpours for the night. More opportunities ahead, plus when a cold front hits next week and the impact it's going to have in just a bit.
All right, looking forward to that, Adam. Thank you. New video tonight shows the very moment that federal agents raided a nightclub on the north side last weekend. If you remember, in that case, they detained more than 150 people that the Department of Homeland Security says were in this country illegally.
One woman who worked at a nearby food truck tells the night team Zaria Oates that they also arrested people who were not at that nightclub.
Sirens blaring and guns drawn. That's how federal agents began their raid at a nightclub near Bassey Road and San Pedro Avenue on Sunday evening. The Homeland Security Task Force conducted the raid, and it was co-led by the FBI and U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Together, they arrested more than 150 people, including this man standing in front of a food truck before agents pushed him to the ground. It all happened between several food trucks, including Genesis Valadez's Las Pollitas snack truck. Anything else that shocked you about what happened that night? Genesis only speaks Spanish, so translating for her is KSAT's Maria Wentz.
What left me in shock was the moment they took my neighbor, our friend who was working in the trailer.
The Department of Homeland Security also arrested 27 people who are believed to be members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. The department has only identified 7 people, and only 5 of those people are gang members. But lawful business owners like Genesis have been caught in the crossfire.
We were 7 businesses that were there in the food park. There were 3 food trucks, a car dealership, and some mechanics.
And within days of that raid, she had to move the location of her food truck for what she says is the safety of her customers.
Because the people think it was ICE and the fear of the people, they're gonna think it's bad.
On top of the sirens, guns, arrests, and fear, Genesis wants to know why an FBI agent can be seen using a table umbrella to push and then seemingly knock down one of her cameras. We're still working to confirm the identities of all of the people arrested. Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
All right. Well, there is new information tonight on a fatal rollover crash that we have been following.
So we now know that San Antonio police searched for less than 30 minutes after a woman crashed into a creek on the south side before she was found dead the very next day. 21-year-old Jolie Piscina was discovered in her car Tuesday evening in Leon Creek under Loop 410 near Highway 16. And authorities are saying that she lost control of her car around 6 a.m. on Monday on Loop 410. Her phone sent a crash alert, but police had a difficult time finding her because the phone pinged about a mile away from the crash site. Family members later found her flipped in a ditch after searching that area.
We went out there and were not able to locate any kind of accident. There were no witnesses that called in that accident. What I can tell you is that the victim was located the following day in the evening. It was about a mile from where the dispatch location was from.
Piscina leaves behind a 2-year-old daughter, and police are asking anybody who was driving on eastbound Loop 410 near Highway 16 just before 6 a.m. Monday and may have seen that crash to call them.
A simple traffic stop in Bexar County turned into a major drug bust. After Texas anti-gang troopers stopped a vehicle for a traffic violation, the driver admitted to having some kind of drugs. Detection Canine Edo arrived and alerted them immediately. After searching the vehicle, troopers found 413 ounces of meth. The driver, who was identified to have multiple previous deportations, is now facing a felony charge of manufacture or delivery of a controlled substance of more than 400 grams.
60 years behind bars. That is the prison sentence for a man convicted of stabbing and beating his girlfriend before wrapping her in a plastic bag and then just leaving her on the side of the road. The man that you're looking at on your screen is Roger Artiega Gonzalez. He was found guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That attack happened back in December of 2023. Somebody saved the victim's life after seeing her calling 911. And according to a previous news release, Gonzalez had been wearing an ankle monitor at the time of that crime. The Medina County Sheriff's Office has asked the Texas Attorney General to block the release of body camera video from a deadly November 8th shooting involving a well-known food influencer.
So the request comes after several news outlets, including KSAT, asked for the footage of the shooting of 39-year-old Michael Anthony Duarte in Castroville. Now, documents show the sheriff's office is concerned that releasing the video could jeopardize the Texas Rangers' ongoing investigation and expose personal information about the deputy involved. Now, as a reminder, authorities responded to a mental health call, and they were threatened by Duarte, who charged at them saying, quote, "I'm going to kill you," end quote. The deputy shot him twice. Duarte was pronounced dead at a San Antonio hospital. The deputy's identity has not been released. San Antonio police rescued a woman when they raided a Northwest Side motel near I-10 and Wurzbach Road.
They think that she had been kidnapped, and now her alleged abductor is behind bars. So this is all connected to a now canceled Clear Alert that we first told you about yesterday on the Nightbeat. Police say that a 27-year-old woman was kidnapped from an apartment complex near downtown. Officers then traced the suspect to a motel, and then when the SWAT team went into that room, the hotel room I should say, they found the woman and then arrested that man, 35-year-old Jeffrey Garcia. It's unclear at this point whether the victim and the suspect knew each other.
All right, some good news now. It's official. The prestigious Warrior Games will be coming to San Antonio for the first time ever in 2026. The week-long competition will primarily take place at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center next June and will attract hundreds of adaptive military athletes. They will compete in 12 sports across 8 days, representing all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces.
It's very good for the recuperative efforts because a lot of these folks, you know, if you're a triple amputee, if you're an amputee, if you're blind, you tend to go in the shadows and they come back out.
The one thing I'm looking forward to the most is seeing my brothers and sisters in arms give it their all, because these adaptive sports are not easy.
And that's JP Lane right there. So more than 300 adaptive military athletes from around the country are expected to compete beginning June 13th. The events will be free of charge for the public to attend. The Warrior Games are also scheduled to return to San Antonio in 2028.
Coming up, inspectors say that egg rolls weren't being kept cold enough in a cooler. Coming up, our KSAT Investigates team heads to a popular restaurant on Broadway to check up on their health inspection. Maybe you've been here. It's a Broadway staple known for its egg rolls. And last month, the Metro Health inspector cited them for not cooling them enough.
Yeah, so they also found an infestation in a pot and rodent droppings. Our Danielle Ibarra stopped by this week where employees took her behind the kitchen door.
Our first stop on this week's Behind the Kitchen Door is Vietnam Restaurant here on Broadway. It earned a 76 when Metro Health inspectors stopped by. So we went inside to talk with the restaurant about how they clean things up.
Hi, I'm Danielle Ibarra with KSAT's Behind the Kitchen Door. We just have a couple of questions about the food inspection report from last month.
We wanted to know about the 10 demerits found inside. Among the issues are cross-contamination concerns and cleanliness.
Have you had pest control come out here?
Yeah,
I know you said you've cleaned everything up. Do you mind showing us what you've cleaned up?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, can you show us?
Yeah.
He took us into the kitchen, where inspectors found rodent droppings.
One of the other issues that they mentioned was the rice being kept in an unsecure pot with black bugs. Can you show us what the rice looks like right now?
Yeah, right now, I don't know it right now, and everything that you're looking and good, you see.
Inspectors say egg rolls, which we saw sitting above a fryer, did not have dates and were not being kept cold enough in a cooler. And the health score posted near the door is years old.
The health department requires you to post the new inspection report.
Over near I-35 in New Braunfels is a Sonic with 9 violations. Inspectors gave it an 87 after finding a live roach near the sink. Condensation contaminated M&Ms, which were then thrown away. The health department ordered Sonic and Vietnam Restaurant to be re-inspected this month.
Is your food safe to eat?
Yeah, safe to eat. Yeah, everything you ask and customer.
That's what's behind the kitchen door. I'm Daniela Ibarra.
So Metro Health says that inspectors revisited both restaurants this week, and Vietnam Restaurant took care of all of its violations. Sonic didn't. Inspectors are planning to return at some point next month.
All right, well, let's return outside and show you live cam. And there is rain out there for sure. I was looking at some of the TransGuide cameras, and I guess it's location, location, location.
Yeah, it came down pretty hard on the far north and northwest sides today. That's where we picked up 1 to 2 inches of rain. On the other side of town, unfortunately, lost the rain lottery, but another opportunity as we get into tomorrow and a little bit into the weekend and early next week. I want to focus on this thunderstorm right here. Still has a decent amount of energy left within it. It's moving into Live Oak, Selma, Schertz, Randolph Air Force Base getting hit. So now let's time this out for communities that'll be impacted by this momentarily, and it's changed its speed a little bit, so I want to give you an update on the timeline. Santa Clara, 10:29 p.m. New Braunfels at about 10:41. Navarro High School at 10:56. You often see high schools and sometimes middle schools listed on here because they're good landmarks, and you typically know where the schools are within your neighborhood. And that's the last of the shower activity that we have out there. So I want to talk about what's going to happen for the rest of the night. Mainly just dry and cloudy the rest of the night. However, tomorrow, a weak cold front, don't get excited about this one, starts to drop into the hill country. So in the pre-dawn hours, a broken line of showers and storms in the hill country. Probably nothing strong to severe, just some more beneficial rain. And then between about 7 and 10 a.m. is when that should pass through parts of Bexar County and surrounding communities. Not everybody's going to get hit. This is going to be the action that's widely separated along a broken line of showers and storms. And then by the afternoon, we actually get into sunshine. So don't let the morning showers scare you away from outdoor activities in the afternoon and evening. Now notice by Friday or tomorrow night and even into Saturday, the showers will be popping up closer to the Gulf Coast, even near Hallettsville, Cuero, Kennedy, Yorktown. That's where the front's going to stall, and that's where the rain's likely to pop up again on Saturday. So you see a 20% chance of rain on Saturday. I really don't think that's necessarily for San Antonio as much as it is for our friends off to the east and far south of town. Okay, here's a look at the rainfall accumulations. I-35 was the dividing line, especially in San Antonio. Southeast of I-35, nothing. North and west of I-35, some good rainfall. And this black line, I outlined the aquifer recharge zone. That is the sweet spot for rain. That's where we really want it. And notice the recharge zone picked up anywhere from half an inch to upwards of 2 inches of rain. So that's good. Hopefully the aquifer will get a little bit of a boost and respond. And you look west of town, and we were talking earlier about, or yesterday and whatnot, days before, about the little bullseyes. Definitely had some higher totals farther to the west, and even in western Kerr County, picked up over 4 inches of rain. That's where most of it was. Now our next system is in Southern California. These are dropping in. This is the third system to be impacting California and the lower 48 here, and the second to be impacting us. That's going to bring us our next better chance of rain by Monday morning at a 40% chance. New drought monitor every Thursday. It's not good. 65% of Texas in drought. Today helped a little bit, but that data is not going to be taken into account until next Thursday. So 40% chance in the morning, 20% chance at noon, then sunny in the afternoon, 70s all day long. And you want it to feel fall-like? Oh, baby, just wait till about Wednesday, Thursday. Thanksgiving, look at that. Wednesday, the front hits. It's windy. By Thanksgiving, 40s in the morning, sunny and 60s in the afternoon. And we do it again next Friday. Put up the Christmas lights.
Hey.
Lovely. Looking really good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so BGC coverage brought y'all down to Corpus.
Yeah, and speaking of looking really good, Alamo Heights is looking really good.
Go
thanks
Mules.
in large part to DK Garza. This young man is a beast on the field and is absolutely carrying the Mules offense. And in the NBA, the Spurs beat the Hawks, just dunking all over them. Coming up. Lightning in the San Marcos area delayed the start of Austin Vandegrift and Brandeis for about an hour before that playoff game could kick off tonight. The rain at UFCU Stadium was really coming down, and fans were enjoying snacks and just chilling out during the delay. Once play started, the Broncos got on the board first. Brandeis ball on the 28-yard line. Quarterback Winter Smith keeps the football. He gets outside. He's thinking touchdown, but he gets knocked out of bounds around the 9-yard line. Moments later, Winter caps off the drive with a 4-yard touchdown. Brandeis leads 7-0, but Vandegrift is up 27-7 in the third, and at last check, that game was in a weather delay. All right, let's go to Buccaneer Stadium in Corpus, where the Alamo Heights Mules face the Mercedes Tigers tonight in the Class 5A2 contest. Down 7-0, the Mules kick back. DK Garza runs in a short touchdown, and we're tied at 7-all. A little bit later, the Mules take the lead behind Garza. He is breaking ankles and making defenders miss. That's a 28-yard touchdown, and the Mules lead 14-7. Tied at 14-all now. Garza takes the direct snap, and he finds the end zone for yet another touchdown run. He is awesome. Let's go to the scoreboard for that final. Alamo Heights is moving on 63-21, and Bernie tops Sherryland Pioneer tonight 42-17. Now to the NBA. The San Antonio Spurs are home tonight playing the Atlanta Hawks on their Fiesta court out at the Frostbank Center. First quarter action, the Hawks turn it over. De'Aaron Fox gets the ball, races back the other way. He passes it to Luke Cornett, who passes to Julian Champagny, who goes bounce past to Harrison Barnes for a corner triple. It's good. Later in the first, Jeremy Sohan feeds Champagny for a three-pointer in the corner. It's good, and he's fouled. Julian made his free throw for a 4-point play, and the Spurs go up 19-17, but they trail 34-28 after one. Second quarter, David Jones Garcia feeds a cutting Cornett, who waits patiently, then scores off the glass. The Spurs get some breathing room thanks to Keldon Johnson for three. San Antonio led 74-60 at halftime. Late in the third, now the Hawks are down 3 when UTSA Roadrunner Keaton Wallace hits a triple, tying this game at 92-all. Wallace scored 6 points, but Champagny would answer right back with a 3-ball of his own, and the Spurs led after 3, 95-92. Fourth quarter, well, San Antonio held a slam dunk party. Jeremy Sohan throws it down. Then Julian rocks the Frostbank Center with a thunderous jam. That is Wemby approved, and back to Sohan for another dunk. Spurs win 135-126. David Jones Garcia providing a spark off the bench.
I was just trying to win the game. Just help my team on any aspect of the game to get the dub, and that's what we did.
David, is a night like tonight one of those dream come true moments?
Yes, most definitely.
If you don't mind kind of just expanding on that, just getting in there, doing what you're able to do tonight in a win.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm proud of myself. I hope my dad proud of me as well. And I was just having fun. Yeah, dream come true for sure.
The Spurs will next play at the Phoenix Suns on Sunday. During his pregame presser tonight, Spurs head coach Mitch Johnson was asked about Greg Popovich being at practice here and there and about his relationship with Mitch and the team.
Yeah, his relationship with myself and the team has been as consistent as it's been. You know, obviously he's in a different role now than he was for a very long time, as we all well know, but he's been at shoot-arounds, and anytime he can get a hit with guys and talk about whatever they talk about, it can be pick-and-roll defense to, you know, house home going on, I'm sure that there's a positive influence and something that I always like to see and puts a smile on my face. My conversations with Pop are very similar as they have been, whether that was last year or before. Again, different roles, so there's a little different rhythm to them, but he still tells me what he sees, what he likes, what he doesn't like, sharing his opinion. Every now and then we'll talk a little food and wine or something like that, but yeah, it's always good to see him, and he's been around, and I hope he continues to be.
And the Houston Texans played under the Thursday night lights after the break.